South Korean citizens were so enraged by the woman inside this police transport that they swarmed the vehicle. They tried to physically rip through the officers just to get their hands on her. Yet the person under that yellow hood didn't come from a dark, troubled past. Ko Yoo-jeong was born in 1983 on the vibrant, scenic coast of Jeju Island. Despite her parents' early divorce, she was raised in a stable, supportive home by a stepmother who treated Ko as her own biological daughter. She was well-liked. By the time she enrolled at Jeju National University, she had a wide circle of friends and a bright future. It was there she met Kang. They dated for 5 stable, seemingly perfect years before getting married in 2013. Her stable upbringing provided the perfect camouflage. By all accounts, she was an average young woman, masking a shift in personality that no one, not her friends, her family, or her husband, could have predicted. The first fracture in that image appeared at the airport on their way home from the honeymoon. Ko wanted to shop at the duty-free stores. When the final boarding call played and Kang urged her to the gate, she exploded. She threw a hysterical, screaming tantrum in the middle of the terminal, refusing to move until they entirely missed their flight. Kang left briefly to rebook their tickets at the airline desk. When he walked back, he found her casually browsing the stores, smiling and completely calm, as if the explosive outburst had never happened. Back home, the pressure of graduate school, housing costs, and a new pregnancy coincided with a severe escalation. She began losing her temper over minor inconveniences, breaking furniture and physically attacking her husband. Kang endured the abuse in silence to protect their unborn son, while Ko publicly spread rumors that he was financially neglectful. After 4 years, they finalized their divorce. Because she had greater financial means and claimed mutual domestic violence on the paperwork, the court awarded Ko primary custody. The airport tantrum suggested something more than wedding stress. It revealed a pattern of behavior that was ready to surface the moment her control was challenged. Once the divorce was finalized, Ko cut off all contact. She blocked Kang's phone numbers and refused to open the door, depriving him of his son for 2 entire years. Desperate, Kang filed a lawsuit to legally enforce his visitation rights and won. During the investigation for that lawsuit, 2 secrets surfaced. Ko had already quietly remarried another man. Furthermore, she wasn't even raising the child she fought so hard to keep. She had left the boy with her own parents. Faced with a default judgment against her, Ko suddenly changed tactics. She called Kang, adopting a soft, sweet tone, and suggested they rent a vacation home for a few days to spend time together with their boy. She realized the legal system was stripping away her control over her ex-husband, so she weaponized his devotion to his son to bait a trap he would willingly walk into. 3 days prior, on May 22nd, Ko bought 30 large trash bags, a handsaw, multiple knives, and heavy-duty bleach. On May 25th, she cooked curry, knowing its intense spices would mask the crushed sleeping pills mixed into his plate. Kang ate the meal and quickly fell into a drug-induced slumber. While he was incapacitated, she took one of the knives and murdered him. The next morning, she methodically dismembered his remains. To cover her tracks, she used his phone to send fabricated apology texts to her own number. Over the next few days, she disposed of the black garbage bags in 3 separate locations: street bins, a remote landfill, and the sea. The scale of the preparation and the clinical multi-stage disposal suggest the industrial elimination of a perceived human nuisance. When Kang stopped answering his phone, his brother immediately suspected foul play. He rejected Ko's story about Kang storming out and went straight to the vacation home's landlord to pull the security footage. The cameras captured Kang walking into the house on May 25. He never walked out. The only person seen leaving the property days later was Ko, loading heavy black bags into the trunk of her car. Even though Ko had scrubbed the vacation home top to bottom with bleach, forensic investigators sprayed the rooms with luminol. Under the blue light, glowing traces of blood splatter covered the bathroom, bedroom, and kitchen. Her digital footprint was equally revealing. Investigators recovered her internet search history, which included queries on how to dissolve bones, wash away bloodstains, and calculate a lethal dose of nicotine. She believed she could outsmart the police and her ex-husband's family, failing to realize that objective forensic science cannot be manipulated like a person. Just as the trial was preparing to start, Ko's new husband came forward with a devastating claim. He told detectives that he believed his wife had also murdered his 4-year-old son. 3 months prior to Kang's murder, the new husband's son from a previous marriage had died mysteriously in his sleep while lying next to Ko. She convinced her husband that he must have accidentally smothered the boy in his sleep, a lie that left him carrying unbearable guilt for months. When detectives looked closer at the timeline of that night, they discovered a detail linking the 2 deaths. The very last meal that little boy ate before going to bed was also curry. This second death shattered the image of a wronged ex-wife acting under pressure. It pointed towards someone who eliminated those around her to maintain her ideal reality. In November 2020, Ko Yoo-jeong was convicted of the premeditated murder and mutilation of her ex-husband and sentenced to life imprisonment. However, due to a lack of physical evidence, she was acquitted of her stepson's death. The South Korean public erupted in fury. Millions of citizens flooded the streets and petitioned the government, demanding the death penalty for her crimes. To this day, Ko has never confessed. She has never offered a reason for her actions, leaving behind a psychological void that experts are still trying to map. Ko Yoo-jeong remains a haunting figure in South Korea. Her case serves as a reminder that predatory violence can hide behind a curated image of normalcy, waiting patiently for the moment it chooses to strike.